Yes, I can hear you. Tell me. Right. So if this is the history of 2016, suppose my chief marketing officer, he asked me that what is the performance of salesman 5? We have a salesperson over here. So I can choose SM5 automatically. What will be happening? The entire data of SM5 will be displayed. Now looking at the same, suppose say my chief marketing officer, he kept quiet for a while and immediately he asked one more question. What is that? If this is the history of 2016 of salesman 5, can you please show me his performance for the month of May? So I'll go to my month slicer. I can choose May over here and this is what the data. So he has sold only one product to which customer? To Lee Motors. Which country? Africa. So this is how whenever you integrate your slicers with pivot table, with pivot chart, that makes your dashboard. Just go and operate. Is it working? Check it out. Please confirm people.
Prabhas, can I share my screen?
Yep.
Okay. So these other grid lines, I don't know how they've come in. वो मुझे नहीं पता. But is this looking okay?
No problem. That's fine. Yeah, you go and operate. No problem. Go for 2016. First, you go for 2016 from the chart filter. There is a year filter
Here,
in
right?
chart. Yeah, click on that. 2016 you take only.
So बाकी को uncheck करूँ.
पहले पहले सिलेक्ट ऑल को अनचेक कर लो पहले आप. हाँ, उसको अनचेक कर लो. फिर 2016 को सिर्फ चेक करो. ओके करो.
Hmm.
नाउ दिस इज 2016 डेटा. नाउ सेल्समैन 5 का चाहिए तो सेल्समैन SM5 यू क्लिक. ऑटोमेटिकली सेल्समैन 5 का डेटा आ जाएगा फॉर 2016. Now, if you want to see the May month record, you can take month over here. This is only one product he has sold.
Yeah. Correct. ठीक है.
Right, right. So I believe people, you got the same over here. So this is how whenever
Uh,
there is a need, you can, yep.
Prabhas, in case if you want to retrieve all our existing sheets, so we can go and check that show option. It will show all the that
Option.
unhided files.
Yeah, we are going to do that. First, we'll do the
Okay.
clearance of all our slicers, like going for top right corner of each and every slicer. We have to restore our data.
Okay.
So once your data is restored, what are the things you have deactivated? So first thing, the sheet tabs. If that is really worrying about, fine, go to the same option. Going to file, you tell me which option I should go.
Option,
File. Uh,
Options,
option,
then which category
advance,
and what I need to do next now.
scroll down,
Yes, then which
it
section?
will
display
display and
option for this
show
Yeah,
workbook.
yeah. In the
show sheet
display,
tabs.
yeah, show sheet tabs in the display
Sheet
options
tab.
for this workbook. We have to enable this. And once you enable this, click OK. You got your all your sheet tabs restored. Now, what are the other things we have deactivated, if you remember?
This control F1.
Yeah, Control F1, ribbon menu, you can activate again. Now, what are the other things like grid lines, row headings, column headings, formula bar, all these things to be activated, right? So keep your cursor anywhere in the blank cell, anywhere in the blank cell. Go to the View tab. Grid lines, headings, formula bar needs to be deactivated. Right.
And for
So this
ribbon?
is, yeah.
And for ribbon?
Ribbon for Control F1, same keyboard shortcut, it's a toggle key. Control F1 to hide, again Control F1 to unhide.
Yeah, got it.
Right. So this is how people we have understood that how to create a dashboard. And trust me, when you present your data in this format, anybody who is sitting in the audience, he is going to give a compliment to your work. Don't worry about it. So only thing is you have to take your live data and keep practicing about all these things. You know your data better, so you know your target audience also better, who needs what type of information. Based on that, you have to keep creating that. That's it. So pivot table number 11. Any doubt, any queries, people, anybody?
Prabhas, I have one query.
Mhm.
So if we want to present pie chart as well, so in the same way, so we can present like this, right?
Yeah, yeah. You can go for simply selecting the pie chart, but so many data is there how you are going to present in the pie chart. If you go for pie chart also, right click, change chart type, you go for pie. It will come like this. If you want, you can present it, not a problem. But this is 3 years data.
Prabhas, can you click on the 2016 Indigo tab that is there नीचे आपके sheets में between 10 and 9? हाँ.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
Because I have something called sheet 20 with me. I'm just wondering what it is. Is it the same?
No, no, it is that we have created, no, that from 2016 and from Indigo, we have just taken the data and this is what double click on that particular cell. So this is the data extract of 2016 and Indigo. This is the data set extracted.
Okay, for some reason, एक second. I'm missing something here. Okay.
What is that?
There is one sheet 20 that is showing here.
No, no. After pivot 9, what is the sheet you have?
हाँ वही उसको मैंने रीनेम नहीं किया है.
हाँ तो क्या दिख रहा है वो क्लिक करो आप, क्या दिख रहा है उसमें? ईयर कौन सा दिख रहा है? 2016 दिख रहा है?
हाँ पूरा 2016 है.
ठीक है. प्रोडक्ट डिस्क्रिप्शन इंडिगो दिख रहा है?
नहीं रीजन दिख रहा है इनफैक्ट अफ्रीका. इंसेंटिव वाला है शायद ये.
नहीं, ये तो इंसेंटिव इंसेंटिव तो हमने क्लिक नहीं किया है कुछ भी. ठीक है, वो दैट इज नॉट अ प्रॉब्लम. यू कैन डिलीट दैट. सी आउट ऑफ दैट व्हिच एवर द डेटा यू वांट यू कैन क्रिएट इट. पिवट 9 में जो है देखो कि ऐसा है क्या आपके पास.
या पिवट 9 इज दिस ग्रैंड टोटल. हाँ
राइट,
दिस इज
राइट.
करेक्ट.
तो जस्ट गो टू दैट इंडिगो 2016 जो 10,29,488 है उसके ऊपर डबल क्लिक कर लो. डबल क्लिक कर लो तो इस
एंड
तरह
वी
का
गॉट द
डिब्बा आ
एंटायर
जाएगा.
टेबल. हाँ राइट.
यू गॉट दैट. तो जो है उसके ऊपर कंफ्यूज होने की जरूरत नहीं. उसको डिलीट कर लो वो शीट को. ये शीट को रिटेन करके रखो.
ओके.
राइट.
So this becomes okay.
यस. एनी अदर कंफ्यूजन?
So I'll label this as Indigo 2016. Okay.
Yeah, 2016 year and product is Indigo. Here, one thing I'll tell you people, sometimes some people will be objecting for this kind of presentation. Yes, where is the objection point? Rest of things are fine. Only thing is the objection point will be the table. So they will say, Pravas, this is fine, but only thing is these numbers are really boring. Why don't you remove this? Now the problem starts. If you remove your pivot table, how all these things will be there? Because this is the core. Your entire data slicer, pivot chart, everything is only depending upon the pivot table only. If I remove pivot table, then how I'm going to present it? But how to manage the show? You cannot express all these things to those people. So I will tell you, not to be panic, no need to recreate the entire thing. Just take the chart and cover your data. Don't do in front of them. Okay, just cover your data with the charts. That's it. Any customer data they want to see. Suppose say Lexus Motors. Click all the data for Lexus Motors. Lexus Motors Argentina. Click Argentina. This is the story of Lexus Motors Argentina. Only 2 products sold, that too in 2015. That's it. So this is the best way to manage your show. Hope this is clear.
Okay. Yeah.
Right.
Makes sense.
Yes, people. So pivot 11. Any doubt, any queries? Hope this is clear what we discussed.
Yeah.
Right. Now, the last topic of the day. If you can hold on for another 5 minutes, I will conclude and we'll go for the closure of the session. Can you wait? With your permission, I would like to take.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. So those who are having some commitments, they can leave the meeting room. Definitely, you'll be getting the recording. You can follow. If you can stay back, it's really well and good. So I'm going to take you through one more concept over here. So let's go to pivot table number 10. Right click on the sheet tab, move or copy, create a copy, checkbox you can activate and click OK. So you'll be finding another pivot turns up, rename the same as pivot table number 12. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, when you keep your cursor in pivot, you can see that pivot table field box is not getting activated, right?
Huh.
So do one thing, right click on pivot. There's an option called show field list. If you go for this, automatically that field will activate over here. All right.
Say that again. So, एक second.
Yeah.
Show field list. Huh?
Yeah. Right click on pivot, show field list, the last option.
ओके, मैं ये पूछने ही वाली थी कि ये जब चला जाता है तो वापस कैसे आता है.
ठीक है, आपको
Thanks.
पता चल गया, क्वेश्चन का
Yeah.
आंसर मिल गया. गुड. चलो, सो प्लीज कंफर्म करो दोस्तों, सब लोगों को पिवट टेबल मिल गया, पिवट टेबल 12 रेडी हो गया.
Yes, Prabhas.
Yes.
Right, right. Now, unwanted fields. Let's first remove that. How I told you, going to the columns field area, remove these values, sigma values, remove it. Deactivate month also. So enter all the fields are clean. Now the first thing first, जो पहला pivot table हमने बनाया था, please bring the structure, product description to the rows, year to the columns, sales USD to the value. We got it.
Can you say that once more, Prabhas?
Yeah. Have you removed all the fields?
Values removed from column.
Yeah. Then deactivate month also, remove month also.
Mm-hmm.
First you remove everything.
Okay.
Now bring product descriptions to the rows.
Yeah.
Sales USD to the value. Year to the columns, not years, year to the column.
Right.
And you got your first pivot table ready. So now the objective is people. So far we have been working with only one pivot table with the individual worksheets. So individual worksheets, individual pivot table we were presenting and people were happy with that, no doubt. What if any point of time I need to showcase multiple information or multiple pivot table in one interface or in one worksheet? How to present that information? Let's go and discuss. So we have got one pivot table ready. Kindly keep your cursor inside that, Control A. Ensure there is no extra fields about to the pivot like salesperson and all. No such kind of fields are there. Only this is the field. Now, copy that. Once you copy the same over here, then leaving 2, 3 row items below to that, you paste it. copy the pivot table and leaving 2-3 row items below, paste it. So we got 2 pivot tables, but having the identical data, there is no use. So let us do one thing. Keep your cursor in the recently pasted pivot table, the below one, second one you can call away. Here, deactivate the product description. Keeping the cursor in second pivot table, deactivate the product description and bring customer to the rows. So first pivot table, product wise last 3 years revenue. Second pivot table, customer wise last 3 years revenue. So once it is ready, please confirm.
Yes.
Yes.
Done.
Yep. How about others people?
Yeah. Done.
Yes.
Now, kindly close that pivot table field box. Whatever it was there, that pivot table field box, kindly close it. This is no more required. Keeping the cursor in the first pivot table, go to your Analyze, Pivot Table Analyze or Options tab, depending upon the versions of Microsoft Excel. You have a pivot chart we have discussed recently, correct?
Yeah.
Take that and click OK. No need to do anything, click OK. You got your chart ready for the first pivot table. No problem. Keeping your cursor in the second pivot table, same Analyze, Pivot Table Analyze or Options tab, Pivot Chart. Again, click OK. And arrange this. Right? So 2 pivot table, 2 charts. Ready? Please confirm.
Yes.
Yes.
Now, once this is done, keep your cursor in the first pivot table. Go to Analyze, Pivot Table Analyze or Options tab. There is an option called Insert Slicer. Right? We have operated that.
Yeah.
If you click there, automatically a dialog box appears where I suppose say want to see region-wise data. I just select the region slicer. Then click OK. So a region slicers will be on and that one you can arrange it in this format over here in between the table data and the slicers over here.
Hello.
Yes. Any questions from anybody?
No.
Right. So we got our pivot table ready. We got our pivot chart ready. We got our slicer ready. Okay. Now kindly just watch 1 minute on my screen once it is ready. If I go and operate with the slicer, what is happening? It is just giving an impact to my first pivot table only. Can you see that?
Yeah.
But now what I want to do, I just want to operate from the slicers in such a way it should give the impact to both the pivot tables. Then it makes sense. So what we can do, take your mouse pointer to the slicer name and right click upon the same.
Hmm.
There's an option called report connections. Can you see? Report connections. And when you go for the report connections over here and click,
Hello.
there is a dialog box appears where you can see what is the pivot
Hello.
table exactly connected with that slicer. That alone
I
checkbox is
forgot your
highlighted.
mic. Last time I was.
Now below to that, whatever pivot table, that checkbox is not on. You have to
नहीं
only
इसको
select
करेंगे
that.
ना तो ज्वाइन करेंगे तो खत्म ही नहीं
And once you select,
हाँ
then go and click OK.
ठीक
So
है
once
ठीक
you
है
click OK, you will be finding now your list is complete. Now go and operate with your slicer. Any point of time, I want to see Belgium data. I can click. This is what Belgium wise, product wise description and customer wise records. If I want to see Thailand records, this is what Thailand story. If I want to see Australia record, this is what Australia story. On a click of button, everything is happening. So this is how, whenever there is a need to work around with multiple pivot tables, you can create something like this. And this is again going to help you while creating such kind of dynamic dashboards.
Prabhas, one doubt.
Yep.
I I created the region. This one I created. So you are connecting to both table. Right clicking, I'm not getting that option.
No,
Uh,
you
that what
take, you first select your slicer. Have you selected your slicer?
region?
Yeah, have you selected that?
Yes.
Then if you go for on the name exactly where it is written REGION, on that location only right click.
Okay.
Are you getting report connections?
No, I'm not getting that option.
Then what you are getting?
Remove region or pivot table connection. Okay, report connection or pivot table connection both are same, huh?
No, 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 no. Okay, you can share your screen. Let me see.
One minute.
Okay, take your
This
mouse
this
pointer
one.
to region. Yeah, right click upon the same. Yeah, you are getting the pivot table connections. Yeah, yes, that's the same.
Okay, I need to select pivot table
Yes,
two.
yes, yes.
Okay.
Click OK.
Okay.
Right. Now you go and operate
Oh,
with the
now.
slicer. Both the pivot tables will be, now it will be operating. Any other country also you can check, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Prabhas.
Right.
Okay. Because I'm
So,
using some older version of Excel, so I'm not getting that
no, that is what I told you in the
comment.
instructions also, Suresh, that we should have minimum 2013 and above versions of Excel because of these reasons only.
Okay. Okay. Sure. Sure. Since
Right.
it is my company
Yeah, I
system,
understood.
so
I
I'm not
understood.
able to.
But see, this is the reason why, because we need to have some uniform versions so that we should not be struggling around.
Yeah. Yeah. So because of that, only some communication gap.
Right, right.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank
Gaurav.
you.
Yeah. All right, friends. I believe everybody is clear what we discussed today. So taking the live data, keep practicing about all these things, and this is about our pivot session. Any doubt, any queries?
प्रभास here.
Yeah. Yes.
Prabhas, just one doubt. Sorry.
Uh-huh.
No, carry on.
Okay. Regarding what we did regarding this report connections, like, the one table was selected already and
Uh-huh.
we went and selected the second table, right?
Right, right.
How do we know, like, which table, like, there are a number of tables over there.
That's a good question. I'm glad you asked. See, the moment you go for, I have already told you when you started the training program, each and every pivot table, they have a unique name, correct?
Right.
If I go to the first pivot table, right click, bottom second option, pivot table options is there.
Mm.
And if you go over here, can you see it showing pivot table name, pivot table
Okay,
one.
okay. Yeah.
Similarly, if I go to my second one and right click pivot table options, can you see the name pivot table number 22?
Yes. Okay.
So
Okay.
this is the
Fine.
point you have to recognize and you have to connect whichever the pivot table you want.
Okay.
Right.
Thank you.
Welcome. So any other questions?
Prabhas,
Yeah.
yeah, my Excel just collapsed and closed. And when I open, I am at pivot 6. All other data is gone.
Don't worry, I'll be giving my sheets to you. Okay, I'll be sending it
Okay.
across.
Yeah,
Don't worry.
thank you.
Yeah. So you can practice the same,
Lekin
looking
इससे
at
why
the.
did it just shut down? मतलब I didn't even have control over it. It just closed.
You have not saved it. Probably that's why it is not going for auto recovery mode. It would have only taken some specific timing only it will be taking.
Yeah,
So
it's saved till वही pivot 6 तक जब किया वो सब हो गया ऐसे.
no worries, no worries. आपको concept समझ में आया ना? So
हाँ
that's the
हाँ
most
हाँ
important part.
ठीक है.
जो मैंने वर्किंग किया हुआ है मैं आपको ईमेल कर दूंगा. You can practice upon the same as a
Yeah,
reference
that will
and
be great.
recording.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
recording तो आपको मिलेगा ही. उसमें आपको देख के practice करनी है बस.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, welcome. So yes, people, any doubt, any
Navas,
queries?
I have a query
Yes,
here.
yes, Chandrasekhar. Yeah.
This is regarding this slicer only work based on a single data source, right? Not multiple data source.
Of course.
So it may suppose there are multiple slicers I'm taking from two different data source, it will not function. Even if I try to connect, correct?
Of course, it will not.
So the base logic of a pivot and the pivot chart and slicer, all things comes to from the only one data source.
Yes, it is a integrated, you can say it is a integrated reporting, and from one pivot table only, you can keep creating that.
Okay. Okay. So means two different data sources we cannot use slices, right?
Not in this way. There is another concept called power pivot. Okay.
Okay.
So in power pivot, what we do not create multiple slicers. We create the data connections. That is called
Okay.
data modeling. So we'll
Okay.
connect like many one-to-one relationship, one-to-many relationship, many-to-many relationship. These are the different concept altogether we have called power pivot. And
Mm-hmm.
when we go for power pivot, we can
Mm-hmm.
connect multiple data source, multiple Excel files, multiple Excel worksheet, and we can create the pivot and we can work around. So
Okay.
that is a again one more level different concept. So those
Mm-hmm.
things we cover only in the corporate trainings. Like when the people are seeking, Prabhas, I need only pivot table. My people need only pivot table. So there is a 2 day course
Mm-hmm.
exclusively on the pivot table. So where
Okay.
we teach pivot table, power query, all these options people will be learning. But because for that learning purpose, people should be having thorough knowledge in Excel to understand those concepts. So there it is called as a DAX formula. It's not a worksheet formula we are going to design. We are going to deal with a DAX formula.
Mm-hmm.
And there will be working with our DAX formula, measures, counts, all these things will be working with. So I'll show you for since you have asked. See that
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
my window, you see there is an option called power pivot. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Directly connect with multiple data models. Like I can connect with multiple files. I was telling you, these are the different measures we can create for our calculations purpose. And directly we can generate a KPI dashboards out of that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
this is another concept actually.
We won't be covering this one in our course as of now, right?
No, no,
Yeah,
this thing
okay.
that's what I told you. That's what exclusively corporate trainings only we cover.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. Yeah.
But if you wish, I can help you out with some kind of tutorials or YouTube links. You can go through that.
Okay. That's fine. That will
Hello,
be very
Professor.
helpful.
Yes. Yes. Any other queries, people? Anybody?
Prabhas, I have one more.
Yeah, please.
This is regarding C. I mean, we take all the data from the master data sheet, right?
Right, right.
And if ever, like, see, usually what we do is whatever, I mean, tabulations or whatever we do, whatever the data is required, we copy a special and the values and we mail it to the concerned people.
Right.
I mean, here, can we do that? Is it possible? Like, we made so many sheets, worksheets based
Mm-hmm.
on the master data. Is it
Mm-hmm.
possible to do that? Like,
No, you have to do it manually. Copy paste special values. There is no direct options for that. You can do it. You have to do it manually, or you have to write a macro program for this. So whenever you send the export command and automatically on a click of button, all the sheets will be automatically converted to paste special value.
okay. No, the other thing is like, see, I would have created a number of worksheets for whatever data we need. But like, one particular report, like, one of the worksheets has to be shared with somebody else. Is it possible? I mean, without sharing the other sheets, only one sheet, worksheet, whatever, like, might be pivot table. 10 or whatever, like, what we did. Can we share that? Is it possible?
Yeah, you can go for creating a copy of that because see, a
Okay.
particular sheet you cannot have such kind of control options.
Mhm.
That's why it has been designed. Right click. When I showed
Mhm.
you move or copy, you can
Yeah.
create a copy to a new workbook and that file
Okay.
alone you can send it across.
Okay. Okay. Fine. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, welcome. Yes, people. Any other doubts or queries for the day?
Prabhas, I have one query.
Yep.
So that in this training program, will you be cover that the password protected sheet, editable sheet? Because
If you wish, I can cover, no problem. But again, that time permits me. I mean, that was a part of curriculum also. Since we have got a lot of queries comes up and without completing that, I cannot proceed. And that's the reason why we are there. But definitely, I would be helping you out. So do one thing. Tomorrow, so not tomorrow, we have got next session on 3rd July as per the plan, correct?
right.
Right. So you please log into the meeting room on 1:45 p.m. dot so that 15 minutes time I will help you out to understand how to protect your workbook, worksheet and range, all those things, and it will be clear. Will that be
Oh,
okay?
yeah, yeah, sure.
Fine. So please make a point. You please log into the meeting room at 1:45 p.m.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Prabhas, just one
Yeah.
question connected to
Yes.
what the previous person had asked. I think Rupali had asked.
Right.
So
Right.
once you copy, say, pivot table 10, in which all our connected calculations are there, or the final maybe a dashboard is there, into if I copy it into a new workbook altogether, and that workbook if I share, will it still allow them to see the different permutations, combinations like
Yes.
that
Yes.
will happen, right? That
Yes. Yes.
collated
Because
data
as I
will still
told
be
you,
there.
yeah, yeah. As I told you, each and every pivot they carry the data in the backend.
Okay, okay,
So if
okay.
you send one pivot alone to someone else, he will be still having the entire data. On a double click of the grand total, he can
Mm-hmm.
have the entire data.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
Thanks.
welcome. Here's people. So any other doubts or queries for the day?
We're good. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. So please practice well. As I told you, I'll be sharing the recording maximum by 9 p.m. today. And make use of this 1 week time, buffer time you have. Be ready. And day one, day two, whatever you have learned, as I told you, certain things I could check, I could sense that it is missing, lack of practice is there. And keyboard shortcuts, when I'm asking the question, hardly one or two people they were only expressing. So I request everyone, please dedicatively practice well and be ready. So day four agenda will be completely on our all the formulas and functions like VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, reverse VLOOKUP, multi-criteria VLOOKUP, logical functions, dashboard functions, and then charts and graphs. So those things we are going to discuss extensively in our day four. So you have to be ready with all these things. And if at all any queries is there and times permits, definitely we are going to discuss upon the same. In the meantime, during the practice also, any queries comes up, you can post those queries in the group. Anybody willing voluntarily you want to answer that also, you are welcome. No issues, no hurdles, no challenges, no restrictions, no limitations. But you have to use the technology. Okay. So I call it as a day. Yeah. So stay safe. Take care. See you on the next week.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Prabhas.
Yeah. Yep. Bye bye.